In my 20 years of existence, I don't have big success stories to talk about, but I do have a story to share. India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother.
बोली में रंगोली सात रंग, यही है भारत और यही है केरल। प्रस्तुत
सीनियर विंग आर्मी सार्जेंट कीर्ति यादव, केरला और लक्षद्वीप निदेशालय।
That dance is the hidden language of the soul. India is a land of colors. Our traditions are our heritage. मैं इन पंक्तियों के साथ अपनी वाणी को विराम देना चाहूंगी। सुनो गौर से दुनिया वालों, बुरी नजर ना हम पर डालो, चाहे जितना जोर लगा लो, सबसे आगे होंगे हिंदुस्तानी। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
And she came and I was dumbstruck. I was looking at the medal and I was looking at the medal baton. I was like, wow, this is something nice. This is something worth having in life, you know. Firing is a very important firing because this is an area which I can say makes or breaks, which changes the entire competition, you know, it changes the scores. Because in this intergroup competition, I was the runners up in the best cadet category. I was not the first one. Now the current affairs. Now here the portion is not static. It keeps on changing. So you don't know what to actually study. Now but again over there, what the trick I say or what matters in current affairs is that you are the first speaker, or if you are the last speaker, you are at a disadvantage, and if you are first, you are at an advantage. I say in my discussion, we were 17 of us, I spoke second last. And then they all have your bio data. So whatever is written over there, you should know what is written over there. There you wrote that, okay, my hobby is cooking. And here you did not mention cooking, and then they ask you something related to cooking, and then you're not able to answer.
Hello friends, welcome back to Defense Roger and I hope you're doing good. My name is शीतल यादव and आज का वीडियो एनसीसी कैडेट्स के लिए है, क्योंकि हर एनसीसी कैडेट का एक सपना होता है कि वो रिपब्लिक डे कैंप में जाए, वहाँ पे ऑल इंडिया बेस्ट कैडेट के लिए फाइट करे, उसके साथ साथ यूथ एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम के थ्रू किसी फॉरेन कंट्री में जाके इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करे। जो आज की हमारी गेस्ट हैं, शी इज़ सीनियर अंडर ऑफिसर कीर्ति यादव फ्रॉम केरला एंड लक्षद्वीप डायरेक्टरेट. She won All India Best Cadet Senior Wing Army. She's a gold medalist in 2022. Also, she was also a part of Youth Exchange Program. She went to Bangladesh representing India. She also participated in National Youth Parliamentary Festival and there she won Special Jury Award. She's a very talented personality. एंड इस वीडियो के दो पार्ट होंगे. पहली वीडियो में हम ऑल इंडिया बेस्ट कैडेट की जर्नी को डिस्कस करेंगे एंड सेकेंड वीडियो में हम यूथ एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम की जर्नी को डिस्कस करेंगे. सो लेट्स वेलकम सीनियर अंडर ऑफिसर कीर्ति यादव टू आवर प्लेटफॉर्म डिफेंस रॉजर. So Kirti, welcome to Defense Roger, and it's a very privileged thing that you came to our platform to share your experience. And I expect ये जो वीडियो है, जो इंटरव्यू है, ये काफी सारे young NCC cadets को help करेगा. So thank you for coming to our platform.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me here.
So Kirti, can you introduce yourself to the platform? जो viewer आपको पहली बार देख रहे हैं, even though उन्होंने आपको intro काफी बार PM के साथ and न्यूज़पेपर के अंदर काफी बार आपको देखा है, but I want you to introduce yourself to the platform.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everyone. I am Senior Under Officer Kirti Yadav. I belong to 21 Kerala Battalion from Kerala and Lakshadweep Directorate. To talk something about myself, I'm a final year economics student, currently pursuing my graduation from St. Teresa's College in Kochi, Ernakulam. And this is my final year of NCC. And yes, ma'am, thank you for having me here.
So, Kirti, what is All India Best Cadet? Because सबको पता है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ हैंडशेक करने का एक मौका मिलता है एंड इट्स अ वेरी ग्रेट अचीवमेंट टू हैव समबडी हु इज एनसीसी कैडेट, पर लोगों को इतना इंफॉर्मेशन है ही नहीं. तो आई वांट टू नो व्हाट इज ऑल इंडिया बेस्ट कैडेट एंड व्हाट आर द अचीवमेंट्स, other achievements are there in when a person go to Republic Day camp.
Yes, ma'am. So basically, RDC, Republic Day Camp, it is one of the golden camps of NCC, you can say. And this is the camp in which the activities of the entire year, which have taken place in NCC, they culminate. So, there are various competitions, and one of the very famous and very important competitions in this Republic Day Camp is the All India Best Cadet. The title, I'll say, of the All India Best Cadet.
Right.
So it is a competition like any other competition, but the stakes are very high, I'll say, in this thing. And there are different criteria or different parameters on which you are judged. Basically, if you are competing for the title of the All India Best Cadets, then without any doubt, you have to be best in everything. You have to be an all-rounder, and that is what they look at. Because NCC is not just about drill, not just about physical activities. It is much more beyond that. And All India Best Cadet, that Best Cadet is, I'll say, a platform which gives the cadets the chance to develop themselves personally, also their personality as well, apart from their physical well-being. And also that is All India Best Cadet. And the various things which are included in this competition, there are basically 5 things on which we are judged. So first is your written test. So in the written test, it includes 3 parts. First is a common subject and specialized subject, which together combine make 100 marks out of the 150, and the other 50 marks is current affairs or general knowledge. Because what we have studied, that as an NCC cadet, you should know what NCC actually is, and you should have a fair idea of, to whichever particular wing of NCC belong, for example, Army, Navy or Air Force. So that specialized subject gives you a little insight into that particular part of the armed forces. And then common subject, because today the world we live in, you have to be up to date with what is happening around you at least. So that therefore that 50 marks is for current affairs. That makes 150. The second thing is your drill test. Drill is a very, very important part of NCC, and therefore you have to be good in drill as well. In drill, we are tested on 2 things. First is our individual drill, where we have to do DST, that the cadets will be aware of what DST is. And the second one is where they check your leadership skills of how you can lead a squad. So basically, you are the one who are standing outside the squad, and you will be commanding the squad. So they see your word of command. Do you give it at the right time? And are the cadets, the ones who are marching in the squad, they're able to understand it? Because the timing matters a lot over there. So that is where they check that do you have the ability to lead a squad as well.
Okay.
So that is for, again, 150 marks, the drill test. The third thing will be a group discussion. In group discussions, the topics that are given are generally very simple. But here the things that you have to look at are that, people are always very excited to, they're much more interested, saying. But more than saying something, what actually matters is listening to what others are saying. Because, many a times people are so much focused on, speaking again, that they don't listen to what others are saying, and then they, miss. Because listening is something which is very important. And if you listen carefully, you can actually take out some good things from the speeches, or if they've made some errors, you can put forth or you can correct them in a polite manner. So in group discussion, the thing that the interview or the panel that looks at is that in a group, how do you behave? Because some might be very aggressive. They'll be like, continuously trying to speak, always stopping the other person. That is not good. Because all these show what kind of a person you are. They reflect your personality. Some might be who might not speak anything only. So that shows that, okay, they, they are not that very open. They are a little on the introvert side, not that ready to step out and speak something.
Okay.
And then some are in that middle medium category who know when and where to speak and what to speak.
Mhm.
So you should try to be in that middle category. You should speak, but it should not be that just for the sake of speaking, you're speaking anything, because the input that you add, that also they see, is it valuable or is it just something that you're saying for the sake of it? Because the judges who are judging you, they are all experienced officers, and they can make out if that person actually has some knowledge or she's just bluffing and all. So that is the group discussion part, and after that comes the interview.
Right.
In the interview, there are two stages of interview. First is the first stage is given by everyone, all the people, all the cadets who are participating or contesting for the competition. So in this interview, they'll check everything. They'll look at your personality. They'll ask you questions about yourself. They'll ask your opinions on things which are happening around you. They'll ask you current affairs, general knowledge questions. So this is a good interview, I'll say. You get to know where you stand actually once you give that interview, and they'll grill you on all those things. But if you make it to the top 4 and you qualify for the second stage of interview, which is by the DG NCC, that interview is pretty much simpler, because if you have reached till that stage, the DG knows that he or she has a good idea about what is happening around her. So he will ask you questions about you. Who are you? Who is Kirti Yadav? He is more interested in knowing that rather than knowing, if she knows what is happening in US or what is happening somewhere else. So he will ask you those questions.
So more or like
DG interview.
Personality related questions and their personal behavior and everything they wanted to know, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So the DG interviews that only as a person who you are, he will just see that. And the last thing is firing. Firing is a very important firing, because this is an area which I can say makes or breaks, which changes the entire competition. It changes the scores. Because if you are a good firer and somebody is not that great a firer, then here is the area where you can actually have a lot of difference in the marks, and it plays a very important deciding factor. It's a very big deciding factor, I'll say, in this entire competition. So yes, firing is also an important area, and these are the 5 things which make the best cadet competition.
Okay. So कीर्ति, अब हम डिस्कस करेंगे आपकी जर्नी को कि कहाँ से चीजें शुरू हुई एंड हाउ थिंग्स वेंट एंड हाउ यू गो विद द फ्लो, किस तरह से तुमने प्रिपेयर किया, क्या सिलेक्शन क्राइटेरियाज थे. So tell us about your journey.
Yes, ma'am. So my journey started from my college, I'll say. Initially, I was not aware about RDC or All India Best Cadet when I joined NCC. But then in my first year of college, I saw my senior under officer Bhavna S. Pai. She was the All India Best Cadet gold medalist in the year 2020, Senior Wing Army. Okay. So when one day she came to college in a uniform and she was wearing her medal over here on her chest, and she was carrying her baton, and she came, and I was dumbstruck. I say I was looking at the medal and I was looking at the medal baton. I was like, wow, this is something nice. This is something worth having in life, And then slowly, I got to know about, okay, there's some RDC is a camp, and there's a competition like All India Best Cadet. So in my second year of NCC, when these selections started, they started from my unit. Okay. So before that, college level selections. So first I went for my college level selections. Our ANO, who's our NCC officer, she took our interviews. Then from there, I went for my unit level selections. There are commanding officer, he took our interviews. And after the unit level selections, there was this inter-battalion or group level selection. So basically, there are 17 directorates in NCC, and every directorate is then further subdivided into different groups. So Kerala and Lakshadweep, there are in my directorate, there are 5 groups. So the next level of selection was within my own group. So from there also I got selected, and after I got selected from my group, there's a competition, IGC, intergroup competition, which is held within all these different groups. So basically the aim of this intergroup competition is to actually take that chunk of cadets who have the potential to represent the directorate in RDC. So basically whoever they see, has the potential, they'll select those cadets from after having this group competition, and then they'll start their separate training, and from there they'll start on filtering cadets, who can, and then they finally select the lot which represents the directorate. So in my intergroup competition, again it is like not like RDC I'll say, but yes, it's something like that. There's a drill competition within the different groups. Then there's this again best cadet competition. So in my this intergroup competition, I was the runners up in the best cadet category. I was not the first one. And I did not know that. I thought, they'll only select the first one, and the girl who came first, now she'll go to Delhi, she'll be representing the directorate. And then after that, at the end of the camp, they started announcing the name of the cadets who have to come for the next camp, which we call as pre-RDC camp or preparatory camps. So in that, my name was also there, and I was surprised. I was like, I thought this is over. Then I got to know that no, this is not final. This was just a competition. The final selections will be after all these camps are over, pre-RDC camp. So I was like, okay, I'll give it another shot. Then after a gap of 10 days, I attended my first pre-RDC camp. Pre-RDC 1 and pre-RDC 2, they were together, 7-8 days camp, each was 7-8 days. And in these two camps, our schedule, our focus was just classes, written tests, group discussion, interview practices, and drill. So from morning till evening, the schedule was very packed, and everybody was like, everybody was tired. We were all working, trying to get adjusted to it, learning so much, learning from each other, from the officers. The officers who trained us, they were very, very smart, and they knew what they were doing. So a very important, I'll say a very big factor behind my win or the win of all the cadets of my diet, because in Republic Day Camp 2022, we actually created history, because from every directorate, there are 6 best cadets, 2 in each category, boy and girl. And in RDC 2022, from our directorate, all 6 of us won medals. We got 3 golds, we got 1 silver, and we got 2 bronze. Wow. So no one came back empty-handed. And in the entire camp, after the results came out, it was like, what did Kerala and Lakshadweep directorate do? What did they do? What was so special in their training? So that credit goes to all our officers, our GCI ma'am who was there with us from starting till the end in the camp, because they are the ones who actually trained us. There were times when, you used to be, what are we doing? What is this happening and all? But still, they were always there supporting us from behind, always helping us. So in RDC 1 and 2, and the competition was also very tight. We had competitors. It was not like I am the only one in my category, so I know that, I'm going to get selected. So competition was also there, and that was one thing which made me to work hard. I say that, okay, I have a competition, so yes, I need to give my best. Right. And at the end of the day, I was doing it because I was enjoying it, because I was learning so many things, and I was getting to fire as well. Whereas if you're normally as a cadet, we just get to fire when we have camps and all. But since I was in this competition for best cadet, and firing is a very important part, every day we used to get to fire. So again, I'm very thankful to our best cadet this thing, because I got to fire so many rounds. I don't know how many rounds I fired. So yes, so pre-RDC 1 and 2 was very hectic, I'll say. Okay. After pre-RDC 2, we again got a week's gap, and then pre-RD 3 started. In pre-RD 3, the schedule was not that very hectic, because the focus was on other things as well. Because apart from this thing, there was a cultural competition also on which we had to focus. So preparations for that had also started, and we as MCs or as dancers and all, best cadets were also involved in the cultural district. So our attention got a little diverted, but still all these group discussion, written tests used to happen daily, no matter what. So they used to take place, and by pre-RD 4, in between, finally the 6 cadets who would represent the directorate were selected. And I was fortunate enough to have been in that selected lot. And then on 16th or 17th December, we left for Delhi. We reached there on 19th. Since it was the COVID time, therefore there was this 1 month of quarantine period in Delhi. Sorry, not 1 month, 1 week. 1 week quarantine period in Delhi. And that time, I'll say, actually helped many of us to get adjusted to the climate of Delhi, because people of Kerala are not used to the extreme cold which is there in Delhi. So that one week actually helped them, and we also got time to go and prepare and get used to it.
Okay.
Then on 1st or 2nd of January, when the camp officially got inaugurated, our first competition, which was the written test, was held, and it went really well. After that, in gaps of 1 or 2 days, the drill test, then the interviews, group discussions, all those things happened simultaneously.
Okay.
And all that was going on. And apart from that, a normal everyday drill practice for the Prime Minister's rally, because that day every contingent, every directorate has a contingent marching on the ground. It happens in Cariappa Parade Ground, which is there in DGNCC. So that practice used to happen. Then selections for Rajpath, Guard of Honor used to happen. So the camp was in full swing and everything was going on. The camp was wonderful, I'll say. Got to meet cadets from all the corners of India. Got to meet so many officers, and it was really very nice. And on 17th, 18th, the top 4 list came out, and all 6 of us made it in the top 4. We were all, when the list came out, we were not aware. We were practicing, we were doing our PM rally practice in the ground. And then our contingent commander, he came and he's like, okay, where are the best cadets? Raise your hand. So all 6 of us raised our hands. And then he's like, congratulations, all 6 of you made it. And for a moment, we were like, what? So we were all shocked and very happy. And then the next day, our interview with the DG happened. And on 22nd, the list came out. So when the list came out, I did not see the list. So one of the girls, she saw it and she started shouting. And then our ma'am came, our GCI ma'am and ma'am. She came in our block and she also started shouting. And they're like, wow, wow, wow. And I'm like, they're like Kirti. And then they're like Meenakshi, Akshata, my other 2 cadets who also won prizes. So they're like Kirti, Meenakshi, Akshata. And they started saying everybody's name. And I'm like, okay, which position? Show me, tell me. Nobody's telling which position. They're just happy and jumping. And I'm like, tell me. And then finally I took somebody's phone and then like, okay, Kirti Yadav, gold. Like, gold. So for that 1 second, I was still digesting. They're like, oh wow, I got gold. Okay, now I'll get it from the Prime Minister. I am the All India Best Cadet. So that was a very, very nice feeling, and I cannot describe it in words, I say. But it is something which needs to be experienced by yourself. And it was wonderful. It was like after you work hard and when you finally get what you have been working for, so that satisfaction that you feel within yourself, the finally that, जैसे कहते हैं ना एक चैन की सांस लेते हैं, so it was like that, okay, it was worth it. But I'll say that, even if I had not won the gold or any other medal for that matter, I would have been happy, because for me, getting a medal or getting a rank, see, if it's a competition, definitely you are fighting for something, you are fighting for the first or you're fighting for a position. But as a person is speaking, for me as a person, what matters more than that competition is, am I satisfied with myself? Whatever I did I give it? Did I do my 100%? Was there something that more that I could have done from my side? If I get that, okay, I could have done more, then I wouldn't have been happy. But at the end of the competition, before the results came out, I was like, okay, I'm content with what I did. I gave it my all. Now, whatever the result is, it does not matter. But yes, the gold medal was the icing on the cake. And I'm very thankful and very fortunate. And, I thank all the courses that are there that I got this. And my journey ended very beautifully, I'll say. Wonderful people I got to meet, beautiful friendships, forever kind of bonds I got to make, because these are the people with whom I literally stayed for the last 4-5 months. Slept together, ate together, did everything together. So this is something that I'm going to cherish my entire life. And I'm very, very thankful to NCC, to my directorate, to my friends, family, everyone who helped me, who supported me directly, indirectly, in their whatever capacities they could. And that was my journey.
So Kirti, one thing I realized that this NCC thing has bought you a good friends. They turn out to be family, and you got to learn and you got to meet a different personalities out there that help you to groom your personality. So Kirti, specifically, the thing I want to know is that in DG NCC के साथ जब इंटरव्यू हुआ, what kind of questions did he ask you, and GD के अंदर किस तरह के टॉपिक्स आपको दिए गए थे? So if you get an insight of that, along with that जो written का प्रिपरेशन था उसमें कैसे प्रिपेयर किया, स्पेशली द करंट अफेयर पार्ट, कितना पुराना आपने उसको प्रिपेयर किया?
Yes, sir. To begin with the written part, the 100 marks which are there for common subject and specialized subject, that is totally in your hands because the content is limited. You just have those 2 books, and I think if you read those 2 books 2-3 times, it is very easy. I don't know how many times I've read it because the matter is also very simple. Common subject contains topics like personality development, leadership, health and hygiene, adventure and all. All these are things which don't need an explanation. And if you read it yourself 2-3 times, 4-5 times, depending upon the amount of time you have, you can easily answer questions related to that. Okay. Specialized subject, it's a little technical based. And if you're preparing for it, you will definitely get help from your officers and all. And whatever detailed things which you're not understanding, you can ask them. So these 2 are the, this part, it is very easy. You just have to read it again and again. And you will be able to crack it very nicely. You can get 100 on 100 as well in this part. Okay. Now the current affairs. Now here the portion is not static. It keeps on changing. So you don't know what to actually study. Now but again over there, what the trick I say or what matters in current affairs is that, you should every day see what is happening around you, because generally they'll ask, people tell you to read current affairs of 1 year of the previous year. Okay. But the main focus should be on the past 2-3 months or 3-4 months, because those are the things which have happened recently. So those are the so questions are much more likely to come from that particular area. Plus, even if you don't get time, I will personally suggest reading newspapers, because that helps not only in current affairs but in a group discussion and interview as well. Still, if you're not getting time to read newspapers and all these, today everybody has phones, Wi-Fi, internet, everyone has. So all these apps which are there, news apps like Jagran Josh or Insights, IAS and all these one-liners, these pop-ups that keep on coming, they're actually really very helpful. Me and my co-cadets, when we used to prepare, if you used to go somewhere and all, one of us used to take out his or her phone and see what all one-liners are there, and then he or she used to read it out to us, or ask. Whenever we used to talk, we'll ask, okay, acha, tell me who is the prime minister of this place. Acha, tell me recently which satellite did India launch, like that. And those questions, ma'am, they actually came in our final exam. Okay. So that thing, we might feel that, okay, it won't actually help. We are doing it just for the sake of it. But it's not like that. So many of the questions that we sat down and actually discussed like that came in our final examination. So all these, mutual learning is also very important in this thing, because one person, you cannot learn everything on your own, but mutual learning helps a lot. It makes a very big difference. And we learned from each other, and it really helped us. So I'll recommend all these apps and all. Apart from that, these monthly current affairs, online you'll find PDFs, or these books are there like Drishti, IAS and all. So they have quarterly or monthly current affairs. They're also good. You can refer to them for GK part, because in GK part, again, it's an MCQ kind of paper of fill in the blanks. So you don't have to go in details, but you just have to remember the names. And those monthly PDFs or one-liners are more than enough for that. So, and current affairs, the more you read, the more you will get. There is no other shortcut for current affairs. After written part comes the group discussion part. Now the group discussion part, the topic that the topic that we got in Delhi, it was online mode of education or offline mode of education. What do you prefer? And second part of the topic was work from home or going to office and working. Now at first glance, this topic is very easy. Out of 17 of us, there would not be even one person who would not know anything about the topic. So the topic that day, if you are the first speaker or if you are the last speaker, you are at a disadvantage, and if you're first, you are at an advantage. I'll say in my discussion, we were 17 of us, I spoke second last. And I'm very glad that I spoke at that position, because initially everybody was in this race to speak. They were all getting impatient. I just waited. I waited for the right time, and at the right time to speak my point. So I'll say that, there's nothing, there's no sort of advantage or disadvantage connected with the time at which you speak. What matters is what you speak, how you speak, and are you adding any sort of value to the discussion? Are you giving something valuable quality to the discussion, or is it just something for the sake of speaking it? And then after speaking also, you can speak one more time, but again, you should have some valued arguments. Just to show that you are speaking 2-3 times, you are again saying the same thing. Just playing with words is good, but over there you playing with words again and again is also not beneficial, I say.
Okay.
Then I'll say the advantages of speaking last or second last is that you get actually the chance to sum up the entire discussion, because everybody more or less says the same thing. So you get the chance now to that sum it up, that I think we all agree, I'd come at this common conclusion, whatever it is. So you get that point, and more or less the position does not matter. Secondly, after the first round, when everybody speaks one time, then there is a round 2 of this thing. So again, round 2, if somebody wants to speak again, they can speak again in this part 2. Now, one more very important part of a group discussion is listening what the other person is saying. So one of the girls, one of the cadets, she said something which was not right, or something which could be contradicted. And I got that point, okay, this is something little wrong. So I again spoke. And when you are disagreeing with someone, that also has to be done in a polite manner. You can't just go on, fighting that, no, what you said is wrong, this is not right, this is not how it is. That you have to be a little diplomatic, and that again, that shows something that you are, that is a part of your personality. So, you have to be like, okay, I beg to differ with what you said, or I would like to correct you. So whatever it is, it has to be in a polite manner. Polite, but assertive. You should not shout. It should not be very feeble. Your voice should be loud, clear. It should be firm and assertive. That should be that's how you should speak. And in group discussion, when we are talking, you should not look at the panel. You should look at each other, because it's the group that you're discussing with, not with the officers who are sitting over there. That is also one thing which is very important. And yes, this listening that I was saying, so there was that one thing which I contradicted. And so that is why listening is very important. People tend to just speak their part and just keep on thinking, okay, what should I say next, and they don't pay attention to what others are speaking. So listening is a very important key in group discussion. And then about the topics, I'll say the topics that you get in Delhi, they are pretty simple. But in your initial stages of preparation, you should go through everything which is happening around you. Current affairs topics, general topics you should be aware of. And when I'm saying aware of, topic might seem easy, but you should have good knowledge. Maybe some statistics, some data,
Facts.
or some sort of recent development in that field. Such kind of things add quality to your discussion, and that is something which actually leaves an impact on the interview, on the judges, that okay, this girl knows what she's speaking. She has an idea, and she has read, she has knowledge. So for that, again, you have to read up a lot. Whatever comes your way, whatever is your area of interest, and if something is happening around which is in news currently, so you should have an idea of what is going on. So that is why newspapers and news is very important. Even if you can't read it, at least you should hear it. Short videos these days on YouTube are there. Yes. So you should go through them. And now comes interview. Interview, the first round of interview, they'll ask you anything and everything under the sun. So I'll talk about questions that I was asked. Was first, they'll ask you a basic self-introduction. You should have a self-introduction already prepared. Over there, you can't go and I come from here and okay, I study from here, and it should not go. An introduction should always be there. A nice, short and crisp introduction which shows what you are as a person. So it should include what you are, little about your family, currently what you're pursuing, your hobbies, any big achievements, anything that you would like to highlight, and then in the future, what do you wish to become? What do you aspire to be? So these 5-6 things constitute a normal basic introduction that you should have prepared in your mind. Then they all have your bio data. So whatever is written over there, you should know what is written over there. There you wrote that, okay, my hobby is cooking, and here you did not mention cooking, and then they ask you something related to cooking, and then you're not able to answer. So whatever you say and whatever you write, it should match, and that should be something that you actually do.
Okay.
That is not a place to bluff or just to create a good impression of yourself, that you're saying, I've done this also, I've done this also, I'm interested in space and science and everything. You should not bluff. Even if your hobby is something as simple as gardening, that also does. So what you actually do, say that only, because they know, if they ask you one question related to that particular thing, and the way you answer it, they will get to know, is she genuinely interested in that thing, or is it just something she's saying for the sake of saying it? So that is important. Then apart from this, the questions now they'll ask you. So I'm pursuing economics, so I was asked economics related questions about the Indian economy. Then they'll ask you current affairs questions. For example, I was asked about who is the chief of Pakistan army and all. Then questions like India's relation with its neighbors. That is also a very common question that is asked. There is India's relation with Sri Lanka, China, or Pakistan, Bhutan, Bangladesh, whatever it is. So these are all very normal, basic, important things that are generally asked. Then apart from that, some burning issues, when something which is happening in the world or in India related to that, they'll ask. And they are not just superficial level questions, but they are a little in-depth question as well. Because from the top, everybody knows something or the other, but they are looking at your knowledge. So they will ask you little in-depth questions as well, which you will be able to answer only if you have actually read about it.
So true.
So if there is something important going on these days, so you should have a good idea of what it is, when, where, how. The genesis of every issue you should know, the present situation, what was in the past, and India's stand on that thing, and in the future prospects or something like that. So that is how you should, whenever you look at a new issue or something, that is how you should approach it. That is the way I work, and I think that is the way which actually helps. Because if you say that okay, today Russia attacked this part of Ukraine, this much you studied, and if they ask you tomorrow, okay, tell me about Russia-Ukraine conflict, you can just say that, okay, yesterday Russia attacked Ukraine, but when, where, why, how did it start, what is happening, all those things are very important, and that shows that he or she knows what she is speaking. So that will come only if you read it. So that is important in interviews. So you should have an idea of current affairs, what is happening around you. Whatever you are talking about yourself, that you should know your hobbies. Whatever you're mentioning, you should have a good idea of what. For example, if you say, I like reading books, so that is a normal expected question. Okay, which was the last book you read? Tell us something about that book. What is the thing that you liked about it? Achha, tell me about the author of that book, something like that. So all these are normal, basic, expected questions. So related to hobbies, whatever you say, you should know. Then from your family background, if you say my father's a teacher, something like that, whatever it is, so they might ask you something related to that, or the place from where you're coming, where you have been born and brought up, something about that. So questions about you should be able to answer, because if you are not able to answer something about yourself only, then that does not give a very good impression to the interviewer. And one more thing in interviews, that if you don't know anything, if you don't know an answer, the best way is just to say that, directly, frankly, honestly, that, sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it. I will read up upon it. Because instead of trying to ask, okay, I think this, I think that is not good. If you don't know an answer, it's okay, because we're all humans. Everybody does not know everything. So if you don't know something, the best way is just that, sorry, sir, I don't know it. I will read up upon it. So that is about interviews. And the next interview, the DG interview, that is very personalized. He will ask you questions about who you are as a person, and that is easy also. So that interview is pretty much easier.
Okay. So finally, Kirti, now let's suppose you become all India best cadet, and now is the time that you're going to meet Prime Minister. What was the feeling and how it went? Can you share the emotion?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I don't know how to describe that feeling, but I'll tell you, on 28th January, the morning of 28th January, when I was standing there and Prime Minister was here about to give me my baton and my medal. The past 3-4 months, they were playing in flashback mode in front of my eyes, a black and white mode. They were like, okay, this, that. I could see everything, all those sleepless nights. At nights when I used to do push-ups and all for firing and all, doing drill and all when we used to get hurt. So everything was going on over there. And this one line from this song, A Thousand Tales, there's this one line, every breath, every hour has come to this. So that one line was also going on in my head, and all that I did in the past 4-5 months was coming in my head. And then when I finally got it, I was like, this was worth it. Everything that I did was worth it. And I was happy. I was very happy, and I don't know in what words I should describe that feeling. But it is something that needs to be experienced only. It cannot be explained or put in words.
Right.
And
so Kirti, I think this video is definitely gonna give a lot of insight कि किस तरह से preparation करना है and what are the areas they can work on and how to work on their gray areas and what kind of memory they are going to create when they go to RDC. So any suggestions you want to give to somebody who is watching this video and in terms of how NCC can change their life and what are the things they should work on the areas. So any suggestion you want to give to somebody who's watching the video?
yes, ma'am. So first thing, ma'am, this is not a 1-day, 2-day event, or this is not something that you can do after 2 days, 3 days, a week's hard work. This requires patience, this requires your time, and this requires your dedication. And all these 3 things will come only when you are 100% interested and invested in that thing. I did it because I liked what I was doing it, and that was the sole factor which kept which always supported me. Okay, come on, do it. If somebody forces you to do something, you can do it for few days. After that, you yourself will be like, what is it that I'm doing? So only if you are really interested in it, then only go for it. That will be my first advice. Secondly, now that you have landed yourself in this race of All India Best Cadet, I'll say, give it your everything. There is, because half-hearted efforts don't produce any results. So either do nothing, or if now that you have come into it, give it your everything. Because at the end of the day, even if you don't win anything, there is so much that you're going to learn. So much. This entire journey, it changes you as a person. Personally, I've become more disciplined, more punctual, more fit. The way I think has changed. My horizons have broadened up, I'll say, and the amount of knowledge that I've gained because of studying for all these things, current affairs, not only all that, but from the interaction with the officers, interactions with cadets of other directorates, my own friends and all, lot many things I've learned, and I'm very, very thankful to this thing, because even if I don't carry a medal back, even if I don't carry a certificate back, I carry back all these things. And as a person, I have become a better version of myself, I'll say, and this is how NCC helps you. And it is not just, even if it's not this best cadet, you are going as a drill cadet, whatever it is, drill also teaches you things like, camaraderie, how to work in a team, discipline in life, time punctuality, and all these things are very important. Especially today when, our generation, we don't have a time of sleeping, we don't have the time of eating. So I think NCC will bring that discipline, punctuality, personality development, and it will change you, and it will bring out the best in you. And all that things, it will make you into someone who's more hardworking, more dedicated. You can, after joining NCC, you can be someone who can work with groups. Any sort of group you can work in, you become more compatible, you become more adaptable, and also you become used to living with so many people.
Mhm.
Because in camps and all, when we live, it's like 30-40 people doing the same thing together, everything at the same time, waiting in line for something. Patience which we lack a lot these days. NCC brings that in your life. So all that camp experience, not just RDC, any camp, any camp that you have attended, be it CATC, ATC, any camp, all those camps will teach you all those things. And these things are, these are life skills that we say. So these are very important life skills that NCC brings. And the competition of All India Best Cadets, I'll say, has taught me many things in terms of knowledge, in terms of personality. So it is something worth going through, worth experiencing the entire thing. And it's a very nice, good learning experience.
So Kirti, thank you so much for joining for this interview, and it was glad talking to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for watching the video, and let me know in the comment section below which kind of videos you want in the upcoming episodes of Defense Roger. Stay tuned for more such content. Jai Hind.